Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to take a deep dive into something pretty amazing, the launch of the African Academy of Health Sciences.
The AAHS.
Yeah, the AAHS in Morocco.
It's incredible.
I know you're super interested in global health initiatives, so I think this is going to be right up your alley.
It is.
We've got some really interesting news articles and some expert opinions to dig into, and honestly, the potential of this thing is huge.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about tackling Africa's toughest health challenges.
Yeah.
Like head on.
Wow.
So could this be a turning point for the continent?
Let's find out.
I think so.
It's fascinating how ambitious this academy is.
Yeah.
It's not just about, treating diseases.
Right.
It's about giving African nations the foundation they need to be in control of their own health destinies.
Right.
Which they're calling
like a real
African health sovereignty.
health sovereignty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That phrase really jumps out at me.
I know.
It feels bold.
It is.
Like a real declaration of independence.
It is, in a way, because for so long, health initiatives in Africa have been driven by
External forces.
external forces.
Even if they were well-intentioned.
Exactly.
They weren't always the best fit.
Yeah. So health sovereignty is about shifting that power dynamic, making sure that the solutions are being developed by and for the people they're meant to help.
Yeah, so imagine this. Okay. A new malaria vaccine is developed.
Okay.
But instead of waiting for foreign aid to distribute it, African nations, with the help of the AAHS, could actually make and distribute the vaccine themselves,
Wow.
making sure everyone has equal access.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's what health sovereignty could look like.
Yeah, exactly. And the AAHS is taking a multi-pronged approach to make this happen.
I like it.
This article we have from the Mograg Press has all the details.
Okay.
It talks about the Academy's launch on November 23rd
Okay.
at the Mohammed VI University of Science and Health in Dakhla. It was founded by the Mohammed VI Foundation for Science and Health, and their goal is to become this huge hub for health development for the whole continent.
Okay, so they've got this big goal of health sovereignty, and they're setting up in Morocco. What else makes them stand out?
Well, one thing that's really interesting is their focus on South-South cooperation.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that means, in this situation?
Sure. Think of it like this. You've got a bunch of neighbors, and they're all sharing their tools and their expertise to try and fix some problems they all share.
Okay.
It's all about getting developing nations to work together and share knowledge, especially those in the global south.
Yeah.
Because those countries often have similar challenges,
Right.
and they can learn so much from each other's experiences.
Right.
So you end up with solutions that are more effective and more tailored to the specific situation.
Compared to, approaches that are imposed from outside.
Exactly.
That's a really interesting point. So how could we see that shift in power dynamics play out in real life? Yeah.
Okay, well, let's say you've got a few different African nations, and they're all struggling with a sudden increase in antibiotic-resistant tuberculosis.
Scary.
Yeah. So through the AAHS and this whole South-South cooperation thing,
Yeah.
they could pool all their research data together and share their best practices for treating and preventing the disease.
Okay.
They could even work together to develop new drugs
Wow.
that are made specifically for the strains that are common in their regions.
That's amazing.
Right. That kind of collaborative approach is so much more likely to lead to long-lasting solutions than just relying on outside help.
Makes sense. It's like using the collective knowledge and resources of the global south to tackle these challenges that they all share.
Yeah,
It's powerful.
it is.
Are there any downsides, though?
Well, of course, there are always challenges with any large-scale collaboration.
Right.
Like navigating different political landscapes and making sure that all the partnerships are fair.
Right. That's not going to be easy.
No, it's not.
But the potential reward seems huge. Now, I was really intrigued by the three main areas that the AHS is going to focus on:
Okay.
human health,
Right.
animal health,
Uh-huh.
and environmental health.
It's pretty cool how they all connect.
Yeah, it's a very holistic view of health.
It is. They understand that to have healthy people, you need healthy animals and a healthy environment.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Can you break those areas down for us a bit?
Sure. So in human health, they're tackling things like public health crises, making emergency care systems better, and fighting prevalent diseases like malaria, HIV/AIDS, and tuberculosis.
Some of the biggest health challenges facing the continent.
Exactly.
What about animal health?
For animal health, they're focusing on making veterinary care stronger and ensuring food security.
Okay.
This is important not just for the animals themselves,
Right.
but also for the people and communities that depend on livestock.
Their livelihoods and economic stability, too,
Right. It's all connected.
and environmental health.
Yeah.
How does that fit in?
For environmental health, they're going to be tackling the health effects of climate change,
Right.
desertification, and water scarcity.
Huge issues.
Yeah, these issues really impact Africa and have huge consequences for human health.
Wow. They really are taking a comprehensive approach.
They are?
It seems like they could have a really big impact.
Yeah.
Professor Rahman, a leading expert in the field, even said that the academy has the potential to revolutionize health outcomes across Africa.
That's a big statement.
It is.
But I think it's true. By focusing on research, education, and disease control in a way that's coordinated and makes sense for the specific context, the AHS could really make a difference.
I hope so.
Me too.
One specific strategy that I noticed was the creation of these regional research hubs.
Oh, yeah. Professor Rahman mentioned those too.
He did. How could those lead to more effective disease control?
Imagine a research hub that's all about malaria, for instance.
Okay.
It could bring scientists and experts from all different parts of Africa together, where they could share their knowledge, do research that's tailored to their specific regions, and come up with interventions and treatment strategies that work for their specific areas.
That's cool.
Yeah, that kind of localized approach could be way more effective than trying to use the same solution everywhere across such a diverse continent.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
You need to understand the nuances of each region and then develop solutions that actually work in those specific places.
Exactly.
Can you give me an example of how that would actually play out, like with the research hubs?
Sure. Let's say there's a research hub in East Africa that's focused on malaria.
Okay.
And they figure out that certain mosquito species are more common in certain areas and that they're carrying specific drug-resistant strains of malaria.
Oh, wow.
So using that information, they can develop mosquito control programs
Okay.
that target those specific species, maybe using insecticides that work against those mosquitoes, or even develop new drugs that target the specific resistant strains. Right. That kind of focus approach is way more likely to work than just a general approach for the whole continent.
That's a great example. It really shows the potential of these research hubs.
It does.
And speaking of like empowering local expertise, Professor Rahman also talked about how important it is to build capacity and train young scientists.
Yeah,
You're really interested in educational development, so I think you'll like this part.
I do. Investing in young scientists and giving them the skills and knowledge they need is so important.
It is.
It's like creating a sustainable pipeline of talent that's going to drive progress for years to come.
Yeah, it's not just about today's problems. It's about building for the future.
Right.
So it's about creating a future where African nations have their own expertise and resources to solve their own health challenges.
Yeah, it's about moving away from being dependent to being self-reliant.
What a powerful vision.
It is.
Speaking of ownership, Dr. Abdinasser Naji brought up a really interesting point.
Oh, yeah.
He said that the AAHS reflects Morocco's overall investment in its people.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Can you talk about that connection a little bit more?
Sure. If you look at the bigger picture, the AHS fits in perfectly with Morocco's development strategies.
Okay.
They've been working really hard on education, healthcare, and technology, and the AHS just strengthens their commitment to developing their people.
So this goes beyond just health.
Right.
It's about positioning Morocco as a leader in African development.
Exactly.
And the AHS is a key part of that.
It is.
It's almost like a form of soft power.
You're right. Soft power is the ability to influence others by being attractive and persuasive,
Right.
rather than using force.
So by encouraging collaboration, knowledge sharing, and health advancements, the AHS can actually improve Morocco's standing and influence in Africa.
Exactly.
And that influence is being recognized already.
Yeah.
The Global Soft Power Index ranks Morocco as the third most influential African country.
Wow, that's impressive.
Do you think the AHS could boost their soft power even more? I think it definitely has the potential. If the AHS achieves its goals and becomes a real success story, it could raise Morocco's global standing
Yeah.
in health and science, and that could lead to more collaboration and investment from all over the world.
It's amazing how this new academy is already looking like a game changer.
It is.
And we've only just scratched the surface. This deep dive is just getting started.
It is. It really makes you think about how this academy could impact not just Africa, but the whole world.
I was just thinking the same thing. We've talked a lot about like what the AHS is, their goals, how it's structured, what they're focusing on.
Yeah.
But what about the why? Like, why should people even outside of Africa care about this? What makes this relevant to everyone?
That's a really important question. On a basic human level, everyone should care about the health and well-being of others.
Of course.
But besides that, there are some very practical reasons why the success of the AHS is good for everyone.
Okay, tell me more.
Think about it like this.
Okay.
Diseases don't care about borders. A health crisis in one place can spread and affect everyone else.
Yeah, we've seen that recently with the pandemics.
Exactly. So by strengthening health systems and research in Africa, the AAHS isn't just helping people there. They're helping to keep everyone in the world safer.
So it's not just being nice, it's smart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's the economic side of things, too.
Right.
When people are healthier, they can be more productive.
Makes sense.
By fighting diseases and making health outcomes better, the AAHS can help boost economic growth in Africa.
Which helps the whole world.
Exactly. It's like a positive chain reaction of health, stability, and prosperity that reaches beyond Africa.
I like that. And we can't forget about the potential for scientific breakthroughs and new ideas that could come from the AAHS.
Oh, yeah.
By supporting collaboration and research on the ground, this academy could lead to new treatments, vaccines, and ways to keep people healthy that could help everyone.
Absolutely.
That's exciting. Africa has so much potential just waiting to be unlocked, and the AAHS could be the key.
It really could.
Like opening up a treasure chest of knowledge and new ideas.
And this is only the beginning.
Right.
The AAHS is still new, but it's already making a splash.
Yeah.
It's going to be so interesting to see how it grows and what kind of impact it has in the future.
So speaking of the future, what are some things you'll be watching for as the AAHS develops? Are there any challenges they might face?
Well, one big challenge will be getting enough money.
Yeah.
They have big goals.
Yeah.
And to make those happen, they'll need a lot of funding.
Makes sense. You need big money for big ideas.
It's true. So they'll need to get funding from governments, organizations, and private investors.
Okay, so money's one challenge. What else?
Another important thing will be building and keeping strong partnerships.
Right.
The AAHS can only succeed if they work well with others.
Not just within Africa, but globally too.
Exactly. International organizations, research groups, and pharmaceutical companies too.
It's about more than just having a good plan. It's about making it happen. Working together and handling all those complicated relationships.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
And then there's the issue of getting and keeping talented people.
Right.
Africa has so many brilliant minds.
It does.
But a lot of them go to other countries because they don't have the resources or support they need at home.
That's a shame.
It is. So the AHS needs to create a place that encourages those talented people to stay and help develop the continent.
It needs to be world-class, but also truly African.
Exactly. A place where amazing minds can do great things.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about the political side of things either.
All right.
Health and politics are always connected.
They are.
And AAHS will have to navigate all the different political situations in Africa.
That's going to be tricky.
It will be.
It sounds like the AHS is on this journey with huge potential,
Yeah,
but also some big obstacles.
that's true.
Do you think they can handle it?
I think so.
You do.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
The challenges are real, but so is the dedication and vision behind this.
Right. The AAHS is a strong statement.
Yeah.
It shows that Africa is taking control of its own health.
It's a sign of hope?
It is.
It is.
Yeah. It's an exciting time for health sciences in Africa.
It is.
And the AHS could really change things.
I agree. This conversation has brought up a lot of new questions for me, like how will the AAHS deal with traditional medicine? Will they include it in their research?
That's interesting.
And what about technology? What role will that play? Will they use things like telehealth and artificial intelligence to help more people get health care?
Those are great questions.
Yeah.
I'm sure the AHS is thinking about those things as they make their plans.
It's a reminder that this is just the start.
Yeah.
It's a process that will keep going and changing.
And they'll need to adapt, come up with new ideas, and be open to trying new things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what does all this mean for someone like you who cares so much about the future of Africa? What makes you hopeful about the AHS?
What I find really inspiring is the focus on African leadership and ownership.
It's not about people from outside coming in and telling them what to do.
Right.
It's about giving African scientists, healthcare workers, and policymakers the power to shape their own future.
It's about self-determination and making sure that health is a right for everyone, not just a goal.
Yeah, it's about empowerment and fairness.
Exactly. And I hope the AAHS will inspire a whole new generation of African leaders in health sciences.
That would be great.
People who are not only brilliant researchers and doctors,
Yeah,
but also passionate about making things better and fairer.
that's a great vision.
You know, it reminds me of something Nelson Mandela once said.
What's that?
It always seems impossible until it's done.
That's perfect for this situation.
It is right.
The challenges facing Africa are huge, but so is their potential.
Yeah.
And with things like the AAHS leading the way, I think a healthier and more just future for Africa is possible.
I think you too.
Yeah, it's not just a dream. It could actually happen.
And what's amazing is that the AAHS isn't just about addressing specific diseases. It's about building a foundation for real, lasting progress based on knowledge, collaboration, and African agency.
It's about changing the story.
Yeah.
From one of dependence to one of power and self-reliance.
I like that.
That's the most important legacy the AAHS could leave.
Well said. It's been amazing exploring the potential of the African Academy of Health Sciences with you today.
It has.
What a fascinating and hopeful story we're seeing unfold.
It is.
Now let's bring our listeners back into the conversation.
Okay.
You've been following all these developments in global health. What's your biggest takeaway? What really stands out to you?
You know, it's funny you should ask that.
Oh, yeah.
What really stands out to me is how this initiative shows a change in how we think about things.
Okay.
It's like we're not just seeing Africa as a place that needs help anymore.
Right.
We're starting to see it as a place that can come up with its own solutions and innovations.
I see that too. It's about recognizing that potential and giving them the tools to make it happen.
Yeah, it's about letting them be in charge of their own future when it comes to health.
Right.
Speaking of which, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Do you think the AHS is a sign that things are changing when it comes to African health sovereignty?
That's a good question. Based on everything we talked about today, I think I'd say yes.
Yeah.
It's not like a magic solution.
Right.
It won't fix everything overnight.
No.
But I think it's a step in the right direction.
I agree. It's a bold move, and I think it shows that things really are changing.
Yeah.
Africa is taking its place on the global health stage.
I like that.
And the world is watching.
It's like that change in how people see Africa and that sense of empowerment or something to be celebrated.
They are.
It shows that progress is possible even when things are really complicated.
It does.
It does.
It reminds me of this conversation I had with a young researcher in Senegal.
Oh, yeah.
She was full of ideas about using mobile technology to make maternal health care better in rural areas.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was great. The passion and energy of this new generation, plus initiatives like the AAHS, really give me hope for the future of health sciences in Africa.
It's those individual stories that really drive these bigger movements for change.
I agree.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the launch of the African Academy of Health Sciences, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
We've talked about the health challenges and opportunities in Africa, but what collaborations or innovations do you think will come out of this academy in the future? What could this spark create?
Ooh, that's a good one. Maybe we'll see some amazing new treatments for neglected tropical diseases.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, or maybe we'll see the development of mobile health technologies that can reach even the most remote communities.
It could be anything. Maybe something we haven't even thought of yet.
The possibilities are endless.
They are.
That's what makes this so exciting.
I know. The AHS has set the stage for something really transformative.
Yeah.
And I think we all have a part to play in making that happen.
We do.
Whether it's through supporting research or speaking up for fair healthcare policies or even just staying informed.
Or even just staying informed, yeah.
We can all do something to help build a healthier future for Africa and the world.
Well said.
This is just the beginning.
It is.
We'll keep following the AAHS and let you know about the incredible work they're doing.
I can't wait to see what they do.
Me too.
Me too.
Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep that curiosity alive.
It's important.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.